again, everyone. Lou Brogno with you here on Last Dance Central on Inside Varsity Sports. And we enter the final week of the Last Dance Baseball Tournament. And it should be an exciting week, coming off some great games last week. This week, a New Jersey state champion will be crowned. And I know everyone's really excited about that with the championship game slated for Friday night at Arm & Hammer Park down in Trenton. But last week, as we said, to get to this point, some terrific baseball played. And we start in the South where some great games took place. Jackson Memorial took on Washington Township, and the Jags won that game by the score of 5-3. Nick Beadle, a Lehigh-bound left-hander, tossed 5 innings of no-hit ball, and Tom Kartnick had the game-winning 2-run double. By the way, Jackson is one of only 2 public school-affiliated teams left in the tournament, and Coach Maeda does a great job with that program year in and year out down there. So they are heading to play coming up on Tuesday down in the South. Their opponents will be the Falcons of St. Joe's Metuchen, who knocked off Williamstown 11-1. A huge offensive performance by the Falcons. Duke commit Adam Boucher tossed a 4-hitter, struck out 7, and Brett Subers had a big 2-run double in the game. St. Joe's, by the way, has not lost in this tournament, and Coach Murray's team is playing outstanding baseball. They are 5-0 in this Last Dance tournament. In the other bracket, Bishop Eustis over Kingsway 8-1. Chris Sangio, big double in the first. And Bishop Eustis is also 5-0. They've outscored their opponents 55-14. And they feature one of the top players really in this tournament. 4-year starter shortstop Chase Conklin, who's headed to Richmond. If you have an opportunity to see him play this week, check him out. He is a outstanding, slick fielding shortstop. Their opponent will be a rival Gloucester Catholic who beat Hamilton West 6-5. And Rutgers-bound Tanner Nolan pitched an outstanding game in that game. Adam Gates had a 2-run double, and Jason Morgan with a 2-run single for Gloucester Catholic. So they advance to the South semifinals coming up on Tuesday as well. In the North, Bergen Catholic defeated Milburn by the score of 5-3. 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th for the Crusaders. Juan Dela Cruz and Armeri Paula started the rally, and Bergen Catholic was able to come from behind to win that game. And speaking of coming from behind, how about Del Barton, who upended St. Peter's 10-6. Now, these two games, by the way, the Bergen Catholic game and the Del Barton game, took 2 days to play. They started in Sussex, of course, on the night before, and then had to finish the next day at Caven Point in Jersey City. But that didn't seem to bother Del Barton as they scored 7 runs. That's right, 7 in the 7th inning after trailing 6-3. Big hits by Jack O'Connell, Nick McLaughlin, Liam Corcoran, Jason Strollo, Harrison Otto, they all contributed to the 7-run 7th inning, and Del Barton came from behind. So Del Barton now will take on Bergen Catholic. In the other bracket in the North, 2 outstanding games, Don Bosco and Jefferson, Cranford and Ridgewood. And our Jake Ostro, of course, was at Yogi Berra Stadium, and he tells us all about what happened in both of those outstanding games.
Thanks, Lou. 8 teams remain across the stage, just 4 teams in each region. And one thing I was looking forward to heading into this week was how some of New Jersey's best would match up with each other come elimination games. And boy, have they delivered. Don Bosco had to put 6 runs past Governor Livingston on Tuesday and just played a very competitive game here at Yogi Berra Stadium in Montclair on Wednesday. Knocked off the Falcons 3-1, but it wasn't without a little bit of fight. Falcons had 2 runners on with just 1 out in the top of the 7th. The Diamondbacks, though, saw it through. They're going through to the regional semifinal. As is Cranford. See, it's not always the biggest teams making the biggest headlines. Cranford, originally ranked 13th in the region heading into the tournament, they're going to the regional semifinal, and they've brought the bats to the party. They scored 13 runs past Montclair on Tuesday, 8 past Ridgewood on Wednesday, and now they're going to the regional semifinal, going to the 3rd week of this tournament. Lou, one thing has been abundantly clear to me over the last 2 weeks is that as this tournament has progressed and teams can see that trophy in their reach, they're going for it a little bit more. The intensity is just a little bit greater. The passion is just a little bit greater. Surely that will last through the final week of this tournament. Signing off from Yogi Berra Stadium, I'm Jake Ostrov. Back to you, Lou.
All right, Jake, so once again, here are the semifinals for both the North and the South coming up on Tuesday. First of all, at First Energy Park, the home of the Lakewood Blue Claws, which, by the way, is the single-A affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. At 3 p.m., Bishop Eustace, otherwise known as the Satyrs Baseball Club, will take on Gloucester Catholic, otherwise known as Brooklawn. So, in essence, it's Bishop Eustace Gloucester Catholic at 3 p.m. And at 7 p.m. is the nightcap and an outstanding game as Jackson takes on St. Joe's Metuchen. So that game is at 7 o'clock under the lights at First Energy Park. At TD Bank Park on Tuesday at 10 a.m. These are both day games and probably the marquee matchup of those games on Tuesday. Del Barton Bergen Catholic at 10 a.m. and then Cranford and Don Bosco at 1 o'clock in the beautiful ballpark where the Somerset Patriots play. That will be on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the North Final will be out in Augusta. That'll come up in Sussex County at 7 p.m. The South Final once again at First Energy Park at 7 p.m. And the state championship game right now is slated for Friday night, July 31st, 7 p.m. at Arm and Hammer Park in Trenton. That is the home, of course, of the Trenton Thunder. Just a couple of things in case you want to go to the games this week. Masks are required to gain entry to the ballparks, and when you leave your seats, you've got to put your mask on as well. Now, when you're sitting in your seat, they are not mandatory, but social distancing is required. So keep that in mind if you're going to the ballpark. And Governor Phil Murphy's executive order permits only 500 fans in the ballpark. So once those 500 tickets are sold, then the game would be essentially sold out. Tournament director Mike Murray says, hey, tickets are only $5 to see some great baseball coming up this week. And the stadiums will be emptied after each game and then sanitized in between the games. If you want to bring a bottled water, you can, but no outside food or coolers allowed in the ballpark. So that's kind of all the particulars of this week's games being played. And of course, we will crown a champion coming up on Friday night. If you'd like to see more about the in-depth stories involving the Last Dance tournament, well, take a look at some of our columns, outstanding columns on Inside Varsity Sports, and you can really get in depth. And then down the road, 56 Innings in July, a great documentary which takes a look at the entire Last Dance tournament series. And that'll be coming up just a few weeks down the road. And we hope that you'll look into that on Inside Varsity Sports as well. That will do it as we head into the last week of play. For everyone here at Inside Varsity Sports and Last Dance Central, I'm Lou Brogno. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. And of course, the championship game coming up Friday night at Arm and Hammer Park.